Good morning to all of you. Good morning. So, I bring greetings of peace, love, and joy from your own country, India, to another beautiful, lovely your country, Malaysia. Gratitude for this wonderful opportunity, gratitude for your hospitality, gratitude for the lovely vibrations and how lovely human beings we have here. It's such a lovely feeling. I've been here only for 2 days and it's been an amazing experience interacting and meeting with people. So we are going to create conscious future, isn't it? How many of you believe that what you think has an effect on what is the kind of life that you are creating? Please raise your hands. Okay, that's fantastic. So almost all of you believe that what you think has an effect, powerful effect on what you are creating in your life. Then my next question is, how many of you get up every day and create your own conscious future? That's a big question. Almost all of us believe that yes, what we are thinking has an effect on our life. But very few of us actually are able to create our own destiny. And I'll tell you what is the reason for it. I'll narrate a very beautiful story of it's a story of Japanese philosophy where kumkum art is very famous. And it so happened that one of the kings who was very angry and he was fond of collecting things, he had wonderful collectibles. And one day he decided that I would like to have a beautiful display of all the things that I've collected over the years. I would like to have a beautiful Elmira that is prepared where all these things can be displayed. People all across the country started coming, building beautiful places, beautiful designs for him. But none of the designs appealed to the king. He was an angry man. And ultimately, what he did was, when he was not happy with the kind of designs that were being prepared, he started punishing people. And they were really annoyed. They were concerned that what should we be doing? How to please the king? And then one of the persons in the court of the king said that we know one monk. He's phenomenal. If he's ready, he may be able to satisfy you. That monk was called and he came there. And he said, I'm ready to accept your challenge, my dear king. But I'll be able to start only after 5 days. Again, everybody was surprised. What is he saying in front of king after 5 days? He should have immediately agreed. And king was very angry, but he did not express his anger because he didn't have any opportunities. He didn't have any options. So he said, okay, I give you 5 days, come 5 days later and start your work. But he also sent a spy to monitor the monk that what is he going to do for 5 days. The monk went back and every day spy would come to the king and say that, that monk gets up in the morning and he's sitting in silence right from morning till evening doing nothing. He's just sitting there. First day, same story. Second day, same story. Third day, same story. And the king's anger was like shooting up like a mercury. He said, my God, I will teach him a lesson. Let him come. Fifth day, the monk came and said, now I'm ready for your work, king. King said, okay, what do you want? He said, I want these things. King gave him everything and said, I give you 1 month to prepare what I want. He smilingly said, I'll do it. And within 7 days, he created a masterpiece. That beautiful masterpiece left everybody flabbergasted. They were amazed at the creation that was done by that young monk. King was surprised. His anger flew away. He said, this is amazing. How could you do it in 7 days? He embraced him. But he said, I have one question for you. You asked for 5 days. What were you doing on those 5 days? He said, most of the work was done on those 5 days only, king. He said, what were you doing? Please tell me. He said, first day, I was sitting in silence and conquering my thoughts of uncertainty. Whether I'll be able to do this or not. I don't think it is easy for me. It is very challenging. These thoughts, kind of thoughts, were continuously coming to my own mind. But the whole day I was busy conquering them, controlling them, making myself very, very peaceful. King was very happy. He said, "That's amazing." He said, "What did you do on second day?" He said, "Second day I conquered my fear. That fear of what will happen if I'm not able to deliver to your expectations, and then you might punish me." So the whole day I was busy and conquering my all thoughts of fear. King was very happy. He said, "That's amazing." He said, "What did you do on third day?" He said, "Third day," he smilingly said, "that third day I conquered my thoughts of expectation, expectation of recognition, expectation that if I'm able to deliver, people should recognize me. I need to conquer my thoughts of expectation only if I have to give my best to this world." And the king said, "What did you do on fourth day?" He said, "On fourth day, I conquered my ego. My ego. I changed and transformed my ego to self-esteem. So that if I'm able to create a masterpiece of your expectation, it should not make me feel that I'm the best in this world. If I have to be consistent, I need to conquer my thoughts of ego." King was very happy. He embraced him. And he said, "And what about the last day? What were you doing on fifth day?" He said, "King, I did everything on the fifth day. I sat down in silence. I created a blueprint of what I want to create. I transferred my thoughts into your mind that whatever I'm going to create is going to be, very, make you very happy. You will be pleased to see that. And then my work was only very little. I just have to come here and execute my work." King just bowed in front of him. And the monk said, "My dear king, our life is a creation of our thoughts." That's the power. Imagine, how would your life become? If you want something, you are able to achieve it. You want money, this much, and you find it, yes, I'm able to attract that. You want to drive a good car, and you create those thoughts, and you are able to attract that. This would be a life which is magical. You want great relations in your life. You want your family life to be happy, to be satisfied. It will be fantastic. It will be wonderful. So, how would your life become if everything is happening just the way you want? That's the power of thoughts that we are going to understand today, my dear friends. So, before we start the journey, let me take you through a very beautiful exercise. And we all are going to do this. We all face this kind of a situation every day in our life. We know that life is actually 10% of what's happening to us and 90% of how we react to it. This is what we know. Yes or no? We have all heard about this. There is a problem in this. And you know what is the problem? The problem is the word react. Today, when we choose to react, reaction is instantaneous. It's often a burst of emotions. It's emotional. And when we choose to react to a situation, it is often unbalanced. So that is why, if really we need to create a beautiful life, we need to change our life magically. So now, imagine this situation. All 100 of us are called to a beautiful retreat like this. Just create and visualize this hypothetical situation. And when you are coming to this retreat center, each one of us, individually sitting in our car, is stuck up in this kind of a traffic. Now, my question to you is, each one of you will have different kind of thoughts. Will each one of you experience the same level of stress, different level of stress? Yes. What is your answer? Come on, yes. Same or different? Same or different? Different. Situation is same, but the experience is different. And if you are in India, I'll tell you what kind of stress is there. This is a typical situation every day. 95% of us not 100, 95% of us initially, some of them will start having this kind of a situation. Oh my God, I am stuck up. This is so difficult for me. I have to reach that place on time. And some of those 95% will go a stage further and they will mince their teeth. They'll be really annoyed and angry with the situation. And some of them will jump out and this will change into a road rage. This is a very typical situation there. They are fighting, they are cornering each other, and this is like what is happening. But there are 5% of us. 5% of us who said, what can I do if there is a traffic? Let me remain inside my car, listen to a good music. I don't have a helicopter or a plane to come out of this traffic. When this traffic is settled, I'll go for the meeting. So that's the situation of 5% of us. So my question to you is traffic responsible for our behavior or we are responsible for our behavior? That is what is important for us to realize. Situations are going to be different. People are going to be different. Everything is going to be different. But today, only thing that is going to work according to us is our own self. And unfortunately, today, most of us are living our life in an autopilot mode. If I say something to you, yes, gentlemen, I'm going to do this thing to you. You are bad. You are not going to do good. You are always behaving like this. Your instantaneous reaction would be, please don't tell this to me. You are also like this. You also behave like this. This is a situation. So we listen to other people, not to understand, but often to reply to those people. This is what is called an autopilot or a reactive behavior. Visualize your life. Visualize those situations. It could be in your family. It could be in your profession. It could be anywhere with your closest person, with anybody. It could be like situation. But if you want to change this reactive behavior into a mindful behavior, we all need to have a pause within our life. And that is where the power of thought lies. That is where your own power resides, which most of us, almost most of us, are not able to experience or often execute in our life. So, challenges are there. Challenges from family, often in our relations, people are not according to us. Our social circle, our friends, our family, all those people are not according to the way I want. How commonly do we use? He is not doing the way I want. My child should be my way. My friends should be my way. My life should be my way. And often nature, look at this, uncertainty of the nature, of the professional life. Everywhere the policies of the government, the challenges are going to be there right from morning till evening. And when these challenges are there, right there in the center, you are facing these challenges. My question to you, each one of you is, answer that there are two ways to tackle this situation. I change my family, I change my social life, I change my government, my profession. I tell people, I tell nature to behave properly, not to do like this, Please stop raining, I have to reach there. And the second way is, I change and empower my own self. Which one of you would like to choose? Yes. First one or second one? Everybody, yes or no? Yes. That is what I want to tell you. That the power lies within our own self. So, my dear friends, today, I'm not going to give you a 10 or a 20-point formula. Not at all. We are all made of stories. And today, I'm going to narrate my own story. My own story of transformation. My own story of hope. My own story of belief. My own story of a life that was filled with challenges, where I could see my death to closest. My own story of such transformation that changed my perspective of healing, of understanding, of relations, of everything in my life. I was no different. I started my life like you all did. Once upon a time, 50 years back. Like a young kid. Very playful, very naughty, very lovely. Used to educate, right there standing, playing the role of a teacher. I used to tell people do like this. I used to dress differently. All the roles I used to play. And those roles were full of love, of purity, of the innocence of our childhood, of happiness and of joy. This was the kind of life I was leading in my childhood. And one day somebody came and told me, "What are you doing? This is not the way life is going to run." I said, "Why? This is so beautiful. Innocence, joy in our life." He said, "No, life is all about chasing success. You have to be successful." He programmed my mind. I allowed him to change my mind and I started running, my dear friends. I started running. I started running beautifully. I started running in a way nobody had ever run. I did my medical science. 1998, I got my first degree of medical school. I became Dr. Mohit Gupta. One of the happiest days of my life. One of the happiest days of my life. And 6:30, 7 o'clock, one of our friend came to our home, my father's friend, he's a gastroenterologist. And he told me, "Oh, so now you are a doctor." I said, "Yes, I'm a doctor now, Dr. Mohit Gupta." He said, "What are you going to specialize in?" I said, "What? What are you going to specialize in?" And he took my happiness away and next day again started running. Again started running. For 3 years, I again ran very beautifully. Very beautifully. 2001, I became one of the youngest physicians of my country. Dr. Mohit Gupta, MBBS, MD, medicine, and I was again very happy. Flew to John Hopkins, America, was doing gastroenterology there, didn't like. I left it, went to Oxford, didn't like. I came back to India again and started studying. And one day my uncle came and said, "So now you are a physician, any plans ahead?" I said, "What do I need to know now?" He said, "You plan to super specialize in something." I said, "Oh, something more is left." And I again started running. I cleared my cardiology boards. I became one of the youngest cardiologists of my country. I used to attract success like a magnet. Materialistic wealth, perfect. Patient care, perfect. Working in the busiest center of Asia Pacific, we have 2,000 patients in a single day of cardiology. That's the load we have. Start my surgeries at 7 a.m. and sometimes we operated at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. I used to go back home only for an hour and a half, just get fresh, come back. Everything I wanted was perfect. I had a spiritual life. I'm a brahmachari. I used to enjoy my life to the maximum. But one day came in my life, changed my life forever. That is my first story. That was 20th March 2003. I came back after operating from my operation theater. After 1.5 days, everything perfect, but unusual headache I was having. Unusual headache. My mother offered me food. I said, "No, I don't want to have food. I just want to take a rest." And I slept for 2 hours. Headache was still bursting out. And at 7:30, she offered me a cup of ice cream. I hold it in my right hand, and then in 15 seconds, that cup fell from the house, and I collapsed on the floor of my house, throwing massive seizures, uncontrollable seizures. I lost my consciousness. They lifted me up, rushed me to the hospital. Whole night my doctors were working. It was like a complete collapse of my life in front of me and my parents. Imagine, where success was the way of life, where everything you dreamt of was everything I had in my life was perfect. And suddenly next day when I woke up in ICU, I had lost meaning of everything. Money didn't matter to me. My position, my power had no meaning in my life. I only wanted that I want to be healthy. I want to regain my health again. My scans were done, and scans showed a large mass in my brain. Imagine, how would you feel if you know that the doctor who is speaking to you does not have right side of the brain? How would you feel if you know that the doctor who is speaking to you has lost his 80% of the hearing? He's working with devices for last 20 years. That is the way of life he's leading. And how would you know that the person who is speaking to you has 4 screws drilled in his spine He has difficulty in standing, difficulty in walking, but still he starts his day at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, working till 11 p.m. in the night. That's the power of thought. That's the power of belief, my dear friends. That day, when I was in the ICU, my headache was bursting, and I used to bang my head like this. This is the way I used to bang my head. Injections are going on this side, and they were giving me medicines. My day used to start with 8 tablets in the morning, 8 tablets in the evening, and every day a toxic injection, amikacin, was injected into my hips. Nothing working, then Ye used to inject the injection in my IV line. So much pain. 19 drugs available at that time, resistant to 18 of them. This was the life I was having. Every day so much pain, but not a day I experienced sorrow in my life, because I knew that if I want to win over the disease, the only way I can do is by growing bigger than the disease. My dear friends, that day I was having lots and lots of thoughts that what has happened wrong. I knew that I had landed in a pandemic of personal mismanagement. Personal mismanagement. Check your life. Check your life. We are working, or we are living, or we are doing both. Sometimes, right from the morning till evening, we have changed ourselves from human beings to human doings in our life. Every day, just performing our job, just mechanically doing our job. I knew that our life is supposed to be very, very simple. Our life is supposed to be very, very simple, but sometimes we have allowed ourselves to become so much busy. And two words that have become synonymous with our life are, I am busy and I don't have time. Check your life. Morning till evening, how many times you are using these words? I'm busy, I don't have time, I don't have time. This is like a syndrome, it has captured our life, isn't it? Does it happen or not? Yes, with everyone? Yes, it happens with everyone. With everyone. That is the day I changed my life. I programmed my mind. Of our last 22 years, I've never allowed anybody to tell me or address me as a busy cardiologist. Never ever. People may say, I don't believe that. And I changed this word into a very beautiful word. And I will request all of you to unwind and say after me what I repeat, and you will see, you will get a whole new perspective. Come on, repeat after me. From today, I am not busy in my life, but I am busy in my life. See, this busy word has a beautiful word. What is called? Say, be easy in my life. Simple. Same word, a pause creates a magic. When you are busy, people keep on saying, Dr. Gupta, you are so much busy. Your schedules are running outside. You have so many meetings. Next year calendar is packed. You are operating. How do you manage your time? I keep on telling them, I have never kept a calendar. I never manage anything outside. I only manage my mind. This is managed. Everything outside is perfect. Perfect. So that is the day lying down in the ICU. I said, no more busy, Dr. Mohit, no more busy. You have to be easy in your life. That day, sitting in ICU, I know our life is supposed to be very, very simple. God gave us very straight and simple life. Perfect for everybody. All needs are fulfilled. But we have made a mess out of it, complicated our life by thinking and contemplating and creating new things that give us so much trouble and so much challenges in our life. And that is the day I put a break before I could fall and collapse, right timely, and I left the emergency mode. I said, now I should be living my life fully and enjoy. My dear friends, it's all about mindset. So let us do an exercise before we go ahead. Let us really reflect that what is the kind of life we have been leading. Is it perfect? Is it the way I want? Am I able to achieve what I really wanted or not? Let us see. And doing this exercise will put your life in a very clear perspective. Okay? So this is a beautiful journey and very simple question I'm going to give you. The question is, and I'll give you three choices, And in case you are not convinced with those three choices, please give me another fourth one. Okay? Now, very simple. Why do we work in our life? Okay? Why do we work in our life? The three choices are, note it down. We work in our life for money. We work in our life for happiness. And we work in our life both for money and happiness. Okay? So now you have three choices. Take a minute. Revisit your mind. Don't analyze others. This guy is working because of for this. No. I should be focusing on my own self. And in this hall, how many of you believe that we work in our life for money? Money is important. Remember, if you want good food, good life, money is important. So any takers for this? Perfect. One lady. Second, any takers? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You are allowed to change the answers. This is an easy class. Okay? You are allowed to change the answers. Perfect. Okay. So how many of you choose happiness in your life? We work in a life for happiness. 1, 2, 3, 4. My God, there are 15 people. I'm going to get rich today. Please transfer all their bank accounts into mine. They don't need money. Only happiness. So I have all their accounts into my own. Okay, you are allowed to switch your answers. How many of you work both for money and happiness? You can change your answers, okay? So there are some people who are party switchers. So we can say we have some political people here, right? Okay, that's perfect. That's acceptable. Okay. But there are certain papers in our life, which we are not able to pass. And this is one. I told you, if you have another answer or choice, you can give it to me. Yes or no? Did I offer this or not? Yes. So please answer. Should we work in our life for happiness, or should we work in our life with happiness? None of you told me. None of you even thought about it. And that's the problem we have today. The programming of our mind, the education system, the lifestyle, the tuning, the way we are teaching our own selves and telling everybody this is what is happening, this is where the things are going really wrong and negative. My dear friends, that is what I want to tell you, that life is a journey and happiness is not a destination. That is the thing that was crossing my mind on that day, 21st March 2003. I was chasing happiness. And life is not about chasing happiness. Life is about creating happiness in whatever you do. Whichever situation you are, whatever you are thinking, the way you are contemplating, you design your life, you choose your happiness, you create your life only and only by your own thoughts, my dear. So, it's all about our mindset. All about our mindset. Nothing is going to change if you change anything in your life. So, with this introduction, my dear friends, let us start the most revealing journey of your life. I'm going to speak to you scientifically. I'm going to speak to you something that will make a lot of sense to you, is going to give you deeper insights of this meditation, how we can use this today. After being 40 years in this particular knowledge, we are using genomics, artificial intelligence to change the lives of people, to transform the lives of people, to reverse their age, to reverse their disease, and I'm going to show you everything scientifically. If you come here with some high hypertension numbers, walk out with low hypertension numbers. If you come here with high sugar, come on, you walk out with low sugar or a normal sugar. Imagine, that is the power of belief that you are going to be left with today. All with a deeper and a scientific understanding. So, I asked you that we all believe that our thoughts are impacting our future, but unfortunately, most of us are not able to create our conscious future. And before we proceed, we must answer that how many thoughts are we having in a day? Are our thoughts limited only to us? We often say, don't worry, I just thought about it. I've not shared it with anyone. That means I believe that what I'm thinking is not going to have an effect or influence on the other person. So that means, are they limited to us? And if they are not limited to us, where are our thoughts acting? So the first question is, we have 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts in a single day. National Science Foundation project, Stanford University, California, it shows that a normal human brain is able to generate almost 50 to 70,000 thoughts. But the unfortunate part is 95% of these thoughts are either repetitive, either negative, either waste, or either useless thoughts. Now, let me ask you, if 95% of our thoughts are waste, useless, negative, and repetitive, and only 5% of our thoughts are positive, it's like a factory which is producing 95 products, and out of them, only 5 are useful and positive. Would you call it a useful factory or a useless factory? Come on. Of course. Look at this, what has happened to our mind today. Look at this. Somebody said, Einstein used only half of his brain. And a student got up in a class and said, sir, if he would have used 500% of his brain, whatever syllabus would it be like? You see, this is the power of thoughts. We are using only 5% of our thoughts to create our destiny, and that reveals the quality of our existence. And why? Because every thought that you are creating is going to give you a behavior. The way you are behaving. If you have a negative thought, if your thoughts are weak and negative, what will be your behavior? Positive or negative? Come on. Negative. It has to be. It is going to influence that. And if your behavior is negative, obviously your feelings and your physical reactions are also going to be not the way you want. Not the way you want. So it is having a very, very powerful influence on our life. And if it is having, then it shows that every thought that we are thinking is creating our own future. So shaping our destiny and creating our conscious future is all about shaping our thoughts. The power of the mind. The beauty of the mind, That is what we all have to do. So are our thoughts contained within our brain only? The answer is big no. Look at this machine. This is magnetoencephalogram, the MRI machine. Without touching our brain, I'm going to show you real-time images of this machine. Without touching our brain, this machine is able to map the kind of thoughts that we are creating. Not only it is able to map the thoughts, it is going to create a complete roadmap without touching your brain, whether they are positive, negative, what is the energy, what is the frequency of the thoughts that you are creating. And that shows that your thoughts are not contained within your brain. So the next question comes, if my thoughts are not contained within our brain, where are they radiating? Where are they working? And look at this. Our thoughts are radiating to our own self. They're having a very powerful influence on my mind, on my genes, and on my body. My thoughts are having a very powerful influence on my relations. The way my relations are. How am I behaving? What is the kind of interaction? What is the relationship happiness index that we have? The family and friends. And our thoughts are also influencing the environment where we live in. That is where the nature, the food, the water, the atmosphere, every single aspect of our life is impacted by our thoughts. And today, I'm going to scientifically show you that how by changing your thoughts, you change the environment, you change the relations, and you change your own self first. That's the power. So let us start and understand, is it possible for us to program our genes? Is it possible for us to program our genes? Look at this. Are my thoughts affecting my genes, or my genes are my destiny? Some people think that mom and dad are my limit. Whatever energy I'm getting from my mom and dad, do they define my own makeup? Are they determining the kind of life am I leading? Or I can go ahead and actually see that if my family tree is full of heart disease and cancer, do I, like a light switch, in a bedroom, can I turn off all these negative genes and turn off the positive genes? Is it possible or not? Is it really possible that if I, with my own thoughts, can switch off my all disease genes and switch on all the positive genes? Is it possible? That is called like winning a health lottery, and this science is called epigenetics. Epigenetics. Let me show you the first experiment that really threw some fantastic light on this, and that will start off with my second life story. This experiment was carried out by Dr. Dean Ornish. Dr. Dean Ornish is a famous scientist, and what he did was he had 30 men with prostate cancer, and these 30 men of prostate cancer were not ready for the normal treatment. So, what he did was he taught them thought management, stress management, meditation, diet, and good exercise in their life. And this was done for 3 months. Merely after 3 months of follow up, what he saw was the cancer causing RAN gene, it significantly down regulated. And what he further saw was his protein building gene, ZNF250, it gradually start upregulating. This was phenomenal. As compared to the normal person, those people who are having a great lifestyle, their genes were significantly changing. Not only this, at follow-up of 3 months, what he saw was expression of more than 500 genes changed, and all the cancer-causing genes were down-regulated. Imagine, just by changing your lifestyle, your thoughts, the way you are thinking, you are switching off the negative and cancer genes of your body. Isn't it amazing? This was one of the first evidences we had. This was really intriguing. And then when we were studying, we started experimenting on our patients, and this started with my second life story of 2018. I was working in cath lab. It was a Saturday evening, and it was 9:30 p.m. And at 9:30 p.m., as I was about to leave, we had a young 22-year-old boy who was brought to my cath lab collapsed with a massive cardiac arrest. Blood pressure unrecordable, pulseless, ECG was a flat line, and we were asked to operate that young boy. I said, what am I going to do with this 22-year-old almost gone child? They said, sir, please give it your best try. I said, okay. We put him on the ventilator. Listen to this. This will bring tears in your eyes. We put him on the ventilator, resuscitated him. An artificial pacemaker was put, and it took me 1.5 hours to operate him. All the arteries were clogged. I removed the thrombus, restored the circulation, and we could achieve a blood pressure of only 50-60 millimeters of mercury. My mind was saying he won't survive. But somewhere, somehow in my heart, it was saying he just might make up. He just might make it. We shifted him to the ICU. And next day, when I came for the rounds in the ICU, you would be surprised and shocked that young boy was sitting on his bed as if nothing has happened a day before. He had recovered miraculously. His blood pressure was normalized. No requirement of inotropes. His ECG had normalized. He was fighting the ventilator. Eyes were open. And it was like a miracle, and everybody was happy. Dr. Gupta, this is like a life saved. I was happy. But probably that was one of the most disturbing days of my life. And I'll tell you why. Because that day I was thinking, why this 22-year-old young boy had an heart attack? He's a non-smoker, non-diabetic, non-hypertensive, no family history, lipids are normal, no problem in his life, but still he had an heart attack. There is something that has to be wrong. I must talk to this boy. Married for 2 years, had a 4-month-old young daughter, and I went to his parents and said, please call his wife, I want to speak to both of them. And you know what his father said? He took me aside and said, come here, Dr. Gupta. I said, what happened? He said, his wife won't come. I said, why? Why his wife won't come? He said, sir, they are on the verge of divorce. They have filed for divorce. 1 month later, they are separating from each other. They have lack of understanding. She won't definitely come. And with my folded hands, I requested that gentleman and said, please give a call to that young lady and ask her to come. Ask her to come. 1.5 hours later, that lady came there running with a small, lovely, angelic 4-month daughter. I made them sit in the ICU. I checked everybody out. I extubated that young boy. And I started talking to them and said, what is going on wrong in your life? Tell me. Where is the problem? What is going on wrong in your life? Look what he said. He said, sir, we both earn a 6-digit salary. We drive a Mercedes. We don't have a problem. We have a plush 4-bedroom apartment, but for last 2 years, we have never connected well with each other. We never had time for each other. We never had time to talk to each other, understanding the emotions of each other, appreciating each other, what is going on in our life. It was very mechanical, and ultimately we thought we are not made for each other. We should separate from each other. I was quietly listening, speechless. I didn't counsel them. Absolutely no. I said, okay, perfect. If you want to separate, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But will you be able to do 2 things for me? Can you promise 2 things for me? They said, yes, sir, we will do. And you know what first thing I told them? I told them, for first thing, that I'm going to discharge your hubby 2 days later. When you go back home, for next 1 month, start having a dinner together in your home for 30 minutes. Start having a dinner together. That's all. Connect and have a e-free dinner. No mobile phone, no technology, nothing there. Absolutely just sit with each other, listen to each other, fight with each other, appreciate each other, understand each other. You agree to disagree with each other. It doesn't matter at all. But just have dinner together and have that intellectual and emotional connect. Will you do it? They said, yes, sir, we will do it. And the second thing I said to the young lady, I said, when I discharge your husband, next 1 month I have 4 OPDs in my hospital. And I'm going to see your husband only and only on one condition. And that one condition is that if you hold his hand and bring to my OPD. That's all. Nothing more than that. She said, sir. I said, please. Please. Only 4-week visits, 1 month. She said, okay, I'll do it. They started coming to my OPD. The first week they came. First week changed into 3 weeks. 3 weeks they came into 4 weeks. We have a heavy load and don't give more than 2 to 3 minutes. We don't have that much time. We used to have a very sharp and razor focused management in our hospital. Very fast. And every week they would come smilingly. Their smile intensified. Those 4 weeks changed into 4 months. Those 4 months changed into 4 years. Their 4-month-old daughter grew into a 4-year-old child. They still come to my OPD and they have withdrawn their divorce papers, my dear friends. That's the day I understood the true essence of healing. The true power of connect. That is the day we started certain experiments in our hospital that are going to blow you apart. Listen to these experiments and you will understand what and where true spirituality lies. Look at this. What I did was, brother, can I have Gopi bhai? So what we did was that we collected 150 patients of heart attack in our hospital. 150 patients of heart attack. And they had no risk factors absolutely. No risk factors absolutely. And we started measuring their psychosocial stress. What is the level of stress that they're having, both at home, at work, and the general stress that they have. Everything I measured very, very clear. And along with this, what I did was I took their blood samples and measured their biologic age, what we call as a genetic age of people. Like my age is X, so that is my age. If I'm 50 years, my biologic age is to be different. It could be more, it could be less, and that is what is determining my health status. So it could be anything depending on my multiple parameters. So I measured their biologic age, and what happened was, look at this, what happened was at that particular time, biologic age is measured by the chromosomal telomere length, like a shoelace, it has a cap. Similarly, our chromosomes also have a cap, and the stronger the cap, less is the expression of the disease. You get it? Yes or no? Very, very simple. So the length of that particular telomere determines our health. So what were the results? Look at this. These young people who were aged between 18 to 35 years had a physical age of 18 to 35 years, but their biologic age was, look at this red graph, this was presented in European Congress also, they had biologic age of 60 to 95 years old person. Can you believe it? In that young costume, We had a body, a gene of a 60 to 95-year-old person. 60 to 95. I was shocked. I said, what the hell is happening to their genes? When we further analyzed, no risk factors. Gentlemen, no risk factors. The single risk factor that they had was 98% of them had highest level of psychosocial stress, had lack of love, had anger, lack of happiness and gratitude in their life when we measured. So you would question, and I question to myself, that how does it matter? How does it matter? If we have stress, stress is normal in life. It can happen with everyone. If we have challenges, challenges are normal in life. It doesn't matter. Let it be. But how does it affect our genes? Then we further analyze, look at this, what we got. Those people who have no purpose, poor relations and lack of love, they have domestic violence, lack of understanding. They are the people whose telomerase enzyme goes down, and they are the people whose telomere length, that is the genetic length, it decreases and decreases. That is why the diseases are fast expression, and that is what explains the pandemic of heart attacks, of cancers, of Alzheimer's disease, of anxiety and depression that is happening in Southeast Asian population, India, Malaysia, and Vietnam, and Thailand. All these countries of South Asia, Sri Lanka, they are suffering from a pandemic of this. The good news was, look at this. The good news was that those people who had love, those people who had positive outlook, those people who had happiness and gratitude, their enzyme increased and their telomere length kept on increasing significantly. The good news is, this is reversible. The moment you change your thoughts, the moment you change the way you are thinking, you create happiness in your life, you create gratitude in your life, you have a positive outlook in your life, the telomerase increases, telomere length significantly increases, and you can reverse your aging. My dear friends, your thoughts are impacting your genes. The way you are thinking, the way you are creating your thoughts, it's all about your perspective. The way you are analyzing a situation, you look at this, the same traffic but different perspective. It's all about our own perspective of our life, of people, of situations. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. When we change the way we look at people, people we look at change. And when we change the way we look at situations, and life, the life we look at, it completely change. That is what is important. Look at this fantastic study by Dr. Robert Waldinger. World famous Robert Waldinger, the Harvard scientist. This is called the Harvard second generation study, or the Grant and Glue study. And what he did, look at me, I'll explain it to you. What he did was, he carried out 700 people. He followed them for 75 years. This is the longest ever longitudinal study that has been conducted. He measured various parameters of their life right from their childhood till their time of success and their attainments, their adulthood, the amount of money that they had, the amount of success, their education, their fulfillment, the level of disease, every single parameter of their life was measured. When this was analyzed, everything is published when I'm speaking to you, I'm happy to provide you with this material. And when he analyzed, all these people were analyzed, there was only and only one secret to fulfilling a healthy life. Every parameter, neither money, neither position, neither power, nothing was important in life. Absolutely nothing. The single most important parameter that stood out was, you know what it was? It was good and lovely relations in our life. The power of our thoughts. Reflect on yourself, my dear friends. Reflect on the relations with your own self, with your family, with your friends, with everyone in your life. What is the quality of life that we have? What is the quality of our existence? How and what is the kind of life that we are leading? Today, we don't need anything. Today we don't need anything. The only thing that we need in our life is the love, the time, and the attention. When I was lying down in that ICU, suffering from my brain illness, suddenly money, matters, everything, my position was not important to me. The only thing I wanted in my life was that somebody sitting next to me and talking to me. Does it happen with you or not? Tell me, yes or no? Very true. This is the life. This is the essence of our life. We don't need much materialistic life. Take out time for your relations. My father is 80 plus. He's a gastroenterologist. My mother is a gynecologist, 80 plus. My younger sister, all four of us. When I today reach back home, maybe even late at night, it's been 50 years. We have never missed a meal together. Never, unless we are traveling. We never missed a meal together. We will sit down on the same dining table. I don't go home as a cardiologist or principal cardiologist to the Parliament of India, X, Y, Z, TEDx people. These things are of no value to me. I go home as their son. I go home as a brother. I go home as a light little child of my own childhood. I will go home and cook food for my mother and father. We do everything right at our home, and we'll sit down on the dining table. No special privileges, only one meal, one kind of meal prepared for all. No television, no internet, mobiles are silent, and we'll sit with each other. And sir, we don't really sit with each other, we fight with each other also. We agree to disagree with each other also. I will say, no, you are always wrong. He said, you don't listen to me, at least respect my gray hair. I said, my hair are also getting gray. You so understand that. We keep on arguing with each other, and after finishing our meals, we sit down and we'll play small games with each other. The childhood games, that activating your right brain. That's the connect. Everything that you are doing, that you are thinking, is creating your future. Everyone's future. Every single thing that you are doing is creating your future. My dear friends, I want to tell you that take out time for your relations. Take out time. Just take out little time. Today, in our home, we have created homes. A single home, we are connected to each other. But how are we connected? We are connected with this lovely, lovely angelic device. Look at this. Lovely, beautiful device. We are connected with each other. And this is how we are working. This is how we are doing. Everything in our life we are doing with this. Imagine. In one home, parents are sitting. And the second home, mother and father and everybody, and the children are sitting and they are typing messages. How are you? We are fine. On WhatsApp, everything is communicated like this. Oh, what are you making today, mommy? I am making this. Just next door, mother is there. Next door. Next room. Please send me this, and she'll send that, And they're so much connected. And I often say, please have a look at your family also. They're also good people, my dear friends. Connect with them. It's so much important that what you are thinking is creating your life. So, my first message and powerful message to you is, my dear friends, we have the power to regulate our genes. We have the power to regulate our genes. We can do it. It's all dependent on us. This is why Times Magazine said that why your DNA isn't your destiny. Why your DNA isn't your destiny. The choices that you are making. What kind of choices you are making, the life that you are having can completely change your genes. Change your genes. This is the power of connect that we have. This is the energy that we have. So, in the first session, you got to know the power of thoughts and the energy of thoughts that can impact your genes. Convinced or not? Tell me, yes or no? Yes or no? So who is going to program your gene in next day? Anybody who is not going to do, or you're going to switch off? So anybody who has a diabetes or a hypertension, come on, go to your mindset. Come on, switch off. Switch. I don't want you to be on. I want my hypertension gene to be off. I want my this gene to be off. I want my happiness gene to be on. I want everything to be just spick and span and perfect. And perfect. That is the way I have to live.